The Bucks just made a sneaky good signing, and this is absolutely insane, as this player in particular is a former two-time All-Star and All-NBA level talent who was once one of the best two-way players in basketball. And guys, we're going to get into exactly who this player is and what kind of impact he can make on the Milwaukee Bucks heading into this next game. Guys, how's it going? Jack here with another edition of Bucks Digest. Before we get into everything, we noticed that 67.5% of you are not subscribed, so please make sure to hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, and comment down below how you feel about the Bucks so far this season. And I'm curious really to get your thoughts on this player that we're going to cover today, who in his heyday was one of the best players in the NBA, top 15 if you ask me. Just offensively and defensively a powerhouse on the basketball court. And get into exactly who this player is. We have an NBA insider here, Jake Fisher, who reports that Victor Oladipo, per sources, has signed into the G League player pool. The former two-time NBA All-Star was most recently playing for the lines of the Chinese Basketball Association, appearing in NBA preseason games this October. Now, guys, I'm sure you know the name Victor Oladipo, of course, back in his heyday with the Indiana Pacers, was one of the best players in basketball. As I keep saying that, but like he was just such a fun player to watch, so explosive and athletic. And I mean, if you know me, you know I love defense, and he was one of the best defenders in the NBA, making the first team all defense back in the 2017-2018 season, where he made his debut with the Indiana Pacers. And kind of mentioning here that he did spend the majority of the preseason of the NBA with the lines of the Chinese Basketball Association. He actually did a pretty good job there. I mean, Bleacher Report here says that in the October 6th game against the Spurs, Oladipo put up 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 steals in 29 minutes. He was even better 3 days later against the Clippers, finishing with 24 points on 8 of 12 shooting, 5 assists, and 2 steals in 27 minutes. Now, folks, we look at Victor Oladipo here and kind of just take a look at his career so far. I mean, great career stats across the board. 17 points, almost 5 rebounds, 4 assists, respectable efficiency, almost 44%. Has been an effective three-point shooter, not the highest volume three-point shooter, but certainly efficient. I mean, there's the second overall pick in his draft class, which coincidentally was the same draft class as Giannis Antetokounmpo back in 2013. I mean, he's got the accolades there. Two-time All-Star, as we said before, made the All-NBA team, All-Defensive team. You get the point, right? But, of course, if you watched the NBA back then, you'll know that Victor Oladipo, of course, suffered a gruesome injury against the Toronto Raptors when he was going up for a layup. And Pascal Siakam, of course, not intentionally injured him, but, was just trying to make a play, trying to contest a shot, maybe get a block. And unfortunately, Victor Oladipo landed on his knee the wrong way and suffered I think it was a patellar injury, something with his kneecap. And he was just never the same after that injury. And you take a look at his numbers here. After his debut with the Indiana Pacers, kind of just disregarding his stuff with the Orlando Magic and the Oklahoma City Thunder, as he never really broke out until he started playing with the Indiana Pacers. But I mean, across the board here, you can see that even after his injury, I mean, he was still a very, very effective NBA player. His efficiency took a dive. Of course, his scoring also did. And his defense probably also definitely took a dive, given that his athleticism just wasn't the same as it was anymore back in Indiana. And, he hasn't been in the NBA for 2 years now. He's really just been coming back from this injury and just working on his rehab and making sure that he can make a steady comeback to this NBA team, and signing with the Wisconsin Herd here of the G League, who are just tipped off their season actually back on Saturday, and they're slated to play tonight against the Windy City Bulls. So not too much information right now on if he is going to play tonight, if maybe he's even going to start. But, that's a question to see now. I'm excited to see if some of you guys in the Oshkosh area are going to go to the game and maybe catch a glimpse of Victor Oladipo and see how he plays tonight. But there's a report here from The Athletic, an interview with Victor Oladipo, and he just kind of comments on his return to the NBA. And he just starts here saying, "I started from the bottom to get here, so the bottom doesn't frighten me. I feel like I've been through harder in my life, so why not this?" People don't really understand that rehab is much harder than the actual sport. We take things for granted that we just do naturally. We don't think about walking until you have to relearn to do it, and it gets harder. I think right now the narrative is it's not about what's he capable of. It's can he play? Can he still get up and down the floor? And can he play a whole year? So I understand that and I get it. So I'm willing to show guys I can, and it's still at a very high level. Even though I was at the top and I got to work my way back up, I'm willing to do that. So I'm looking forward to it. I think, like I said, I think my greatest years are ahead of me, and I'm looking forward to see where it goes. So obviously great to see that Victor Oladipo is very optimistic about his comeback to the NBA, signing with the Wisconsin Herd. Hopefully, he makes his debut tonight, maybe even starts, of course. I mean, this guy's a former All-Star, guys, a former All-NBA. I don't keep mentioning that, but I mean, this guy's playing in the G League, and we know the G League has had a lot of stars come out of it, like Chris Middleton, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet. I know they kind of just began there, and that's kind of how they came up through the NBA. But I mean, this is a really good chance for Victor Oladipo just to kind of really get his sea legs back in the NBA, because I mean, the G League is probably the third next thing to maybe the Euro League or the CBA that is really just in terms of competitiveness in basketball and pro basketball. So I really think this is a good opportunity for him to come back. But I really want to get your thoughts on what you think about him joining the Wisconsin, and maybe if there's a chance that he gets called up to the NBA for the Milwaukee Bucks on a two-way contract. I know that there's a few players on the Milwaukee Bucks right now on a two-way contract. We have Alex Antetokounmpo, of course, Mark Sears, and Pete Nance. And, maybe there's some players on this roster that, could potentially be a little more expendable. John Horst, there's a chance that if John Horst sees something in Victor Oladipo with the Wisconsin Herd, there's a chance that he might be able to, maybe take someone off a two-way contract, release them. I know someone like maybe Gary Harris could be someone who's a little expendable, and John Horst might see not too much value in. I know he hasn't played that much this season right now, and hasn't really showcased much. I mean, he hasn't really had the opportunity, but I mean, if there's a chance that Victor Oladipo could return to, I mean, even a quarter or half of what he was in his prime, I'm taking that chance every day and putting him on the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, I think you guys would agree with me in that aspect, or at least I hope you would. But I don't know, maybe some of you don't think that John Horst should take the chance on Victor Oladipo. Maybe it's not worth getting rid of one of the developmental players in the G League right now on a two-way, or one of the veterans like Gary Harris, or maybe like Amir Coffey or something like that. But I just think there's a good chance that Victor Oladipo can really shine in the G League. I think he can make his impact known. I mean, he seems very, very enthusiastic and optimistic about his return. So I really think there's a good chance that he can make a statement with this Wisconsin Herd G League team, and hopefully he can make his return back to the NBA, of course. And guys, just taking a look at this game last night from the Dallas Mavericks. We have a little comment here from Giannis Antetokounmpo, who knocked down the three in the fourth quarter, and saying that the deep three was late there was for Jason Kidd. He's saying when he was younger, he told me not to shoot threes. He helped me a lot, but I also think he took away from my game because I wasn't able to develop that as fast. So when I made it, I said, that's for you, for all the torture you put me through. So, obviously there's a little bit of history there with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jason Kidd. As Jason Kidd obviously experimented a lot there with Giannis Antetokounmpo, even putting him at the point guard position at one point, which is certainly something to see. But of course, he transitioned into power forward, which is obviously his very true position, and he does a very, very good job at that. But guys, let me know down below what you think about all this Victor Oladipo news. Do you think he'll make a two-way contract, make it onto the Milwaukee Bucks roster? Give me a little prediction on what you think he might do tonight with the Wisconsin Herd out in Oshkosh tonight. Let me know if you're making the game. Actually, I'd love to see if you guys get a glimpse of Victor Oladipo and see what he can do with this team. But as always, guys, thanks a lot for watching the video, and go Bucks.